It's also interesting if you compare Ken to Tim Young, for example. Bury the beater. Bury. Begrabe. Na, ihr kennt ja alles im Wiener Akzent reden. One other thing about the swivel technique that's also really interesting is that... So, meine lieben Freunde, wir sind wieder zurück mit einer neuen Drum Teacher Reacts Folge. Alrighty, my friends, we are back with another episode of the Drum Teacher React series, and today we're gonna talk about Mr. Ken Bedeni. Ken, I'm butchering your name. Ken is one of the teachers at the Drum Technique Academy, and today in this video we just want to answer one simple question, and that is Ken Bedeni the fastest drummer in the world today? For all of you who want to be like Ken, and if you want to copy his pedal settings, we're gonna post close-up pictures of his current pedal settings with Chargio Copito pedals at the end of the videos, so make sure to stick around till the end. This lesson today is gonna be more of a beginner lesson, so we're gonna talk about the basics of the swivel technique and we're gonna check out his full performance. Alrighty. Have to stop already. Yeah, the swivel technique. You know, many drummers nowadays use the swivel technique for the faster stuff, but there's like one big difference between good drummers that use the swivel technique and outstanding drummers that use the swivel technique. And yes, you guessed that one right, Ken is an outstanding drummer. You know, with the swivel technique, one big disadvantage that happens to many drummers is that when they swivel their foot from side to side, they don't get like perfectly lined up eighth notes or 16th notes, they get kind of a shuffle feel. So the double bass hits are not lined up perfectly. It's more like a little bit of a shuffle feel. Of course, it's not that easy to control the pedals at those high tempos, but with Ken, you know, the notes are lined up perfectly. So let's listen to that part again in slow motion. You get the idea. Notes are lined up perfectly. That's one of the big difficulties when learning the swivel technique, and Ken mastered that, of course. Alrighty, let's continue. Two-foot blast beat. Ken is one of the drummers that's able to play all of that stuff just as a regular single foot blast beat, but he also chose the 2-foot blast beat option. Alrighty, let's continue. Wow. One thing that's really interesting is that he kind of switches hand position when he's playing a blast beat in comparison to a regular skank beat or just a regular back beat. For those of you who are interested in his hand technique, Ken recorded his full pre-show warm-up hand technique warm-up routine for the Drum Technique Academy. So you get this one right after you sign up at the DTA. We're gonna copy the link of the Drum Technique Academy below in the description and the first comment of this video as well. Alrighty, in this video you can see that he's using Axis A longboards. He's been using them for a long time, and like the last couple of years he switched to Chargio Copito pedals. One other thing that I would like to mention is that right here he's playing with his left foot on the hi-hat, and I don't know if that's the sound guy of the Brutal Assault Festival or if they brought their own sound guy, but you can hear him step with his left foot on the hi-hat, so this is an awesome sounding mix, by the way. This is also interesting. For the double bass stuff below 200 BPM he's using a regular ankle motion, so no swivel there. Again, you can still hear the hi-hat, the stepping hi-hat in the mix, which is awesome. Again, 2-foot blast beat. Whoa. Alright, let's talk about his swivel technique. In the beginning I promised you this is a beginner lesson about the swivel technique, so now we're gonna just talk about the basics. That's the stuff that I learned from watching Ken's lesson at the Drum Technique Academy. So it's not me inventing that stuff, it's just me standing on the shoulders of giants. So in this case, when I talk about Ken's swivel technique, I'm talking about hitting one note per side. So your foot swivels in for one note and out. There are some other variations out there where you get 2 hits per side, for example. There are even some other variations where drummers play 3 notes per side. But again, in Ken's case, he's swiveling from side to side with just 1 hit per side. One other thing about the swivel technique that's also really interesting is that some drummers just copy what the right foot is doing with the left foot. By that I mean, when they swivel in for the first stroke with the right foot, they also swivel in with the left foot for the first stroke. Then they swivel out for the second stroke with the right foot and out for the second stroke with the left foot. Other drummers, like Ken in this case, they do it a bit differently. By that I mean, for the first stroke he's swiveling in with the right foot and he's swiveling out with the left foot. Then he's swiveling out with the right foot and in with the left foot. So basically they are chasing each other. Another drummer that uses the same kind of sequence of that one is Krim Lechner or Eugene Ryobchenko, for example. A drummer that's using the first option would be Jesse Bieler from Die Art is Murder, for example. Alrighty, now let's continue. Again, 2-foot blast beat, that's what I like to see. Alrighty. One thing that you can see right here at this camera angle is that his cymbals are extremely high, which is a cool thing. Every sound guy is gonna love you if you do that, because then you're not gonna have as much bleed in the microphones of your toms. What's up with that camera? Okay, he moved it. He fixed it. Thank you. Drummers from Hell, make sure to check out their YouTube channel. Not one single mistake in that one. Again, let's listen to this part again, but in slow motion. So tight. Awesome. It's also interesting if you compare Ken to Tim Young, for example. We released a video of Tim Young, me reacting to Tim Young a couple of weeks ago, and Tim Young is always pushing the bass drum beater against the bass drum head. That's his starting and stopping position. With Ken, you can always see that he's starting and stopping right in front of the bass drum head. The beater is never buried in the bass drum head. Buried. That's another hard word for me. The letter R is killing me. Buried. Bury the beater. Bury. Bury. Begrabe. Talking in German is way easier compared to talking in English for me. Na, könnt ihr alles im Wiener Akzent reden? Okay, now let's continue. Yeah, wow. Foot cam, please. So I promised you in the beginning of this video that we're gonna show you close-up pictures of Ken's current pedal settings. Be aware he's now using a different pedal than in this clip. This clip he's using Axis A longboards, now he's using Charge Ear Copito pedals. So first of all, spring tension maximum. Second, beater angle. Third, beater setting or beater distance setting. And fourth, footboard angle. But try them out at home. And one other thing that I would like to mention is that Ken always likes to use extremely light bass drum beaters. Okie dokie, let's continue. When I just started this video, it looked like it was in fast forward, but that's his regular swivel technique at regular tempo for him. Insane Ken, my friend. Awesome. Alrighty, that's it for this first video about Ken Pedeni. We're gonna talk about him in the future as well in this Drum Teacher React series. If you want to learn more from Ken personally, then make sure to sign up at the Drum Technique Academy. Link is below, drumtechniqueacademy.net. In the lesson section of our membership zone, you can find his pre-show hand technique warm-up routine, and you also got a full 1-hour lesson from Ken talking about his hand and foot technique. And that's it for this video. My dear friends, I hope you're all having a great day. Cheers from Vienna. Bye bye.